Broadcasting to you from the heart of northern Minnesota, this is the Roger Radio Show. I am Roger Radio.
And I'm Aegis on Levity of the Intermission group.
Cheers, fuckface.
Cheers.
Need to see if I can open this quick. Let me just get the old reliable here quick. I do love drinking out of a glass.
You like drinking out of my ass?
Nah. Alright. Oh yeah, I think I could be a really good bartender here. Heck, I look the part too, dude. I'm wearing my fucking Knuckleheads dress shirt. Big shout out to Knuckleheads in Hill City. I saw you already drank without me. Thanks a lot for waiting for me, Rick. Ooh. So, Aegis, do you notice anything different about my background?
I can see your lava lamp.
And guess what? The new background that I'm putting on this podcast matches it.
Oh, that background. Yeah, I forgot we did that.
Yeah, well, technically we didn't. But, yeah, I see you got old Bernie. How's he holding up?
How you doing, Bernie? Want a drink?
How does he feel knowing that we have an American Pope?
He doesn't really give a shit.
Well,
I do like the new Pope, though. He talked some shit on JD Vance and Donald Trump, and I'm like, yeah, I like this guy.
Dude, I saw a tweet or a post that said, keep JD Vance the hell away from Pope Leo the 14th, otherwise he's gonna die too, so.
Did you see on Donald Trump's, I'm still going to call it Twitter. I know it's called X now, but I'm still
I know what you're
Twitter.
talking about. Let's
on
just,
Trump's Twitter, he posted a picture of himself photoshopped as the Pope. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah. We'll just, let's just leave it there, man, because we're not here to talk politics and all that. We got another legit album review today, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm, of course, talking about,
we're going to be reviewing The Tortured Poet Society by Taylor Swift.
Fuck you. Now, let me ask you this. Which album would you know of right now that is celebrating its 40-year anniversary this month?
Well, I already know what the album is, so...
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this, but before we get into it, our question of the podcast, I meant to say, is what do you think is the most overrated song you've ever heard in your life?
There are so many, I can't think of just one.
Me too.
And most of the songs I hate, I don't even know the name of. I don't like the way this sounds. Get it the fuck away from me.
Dude, everything that's so overrated for me is all Taylor Swift music, Beyonce music, fucking Justin Bieber music, you name it. All the pop-ass bullshit out there.
Yeah, just pop music in general. I have a high distaste for.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, though. This album that we are going to review today, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, it's an all-time great piece of art, but in my opinion, the most fucking overrated and overplayed music in my life.
Oh my god!
And
I thought you were expecting.
And I am, of course, talking about none other than Dire Straits' 1985 album, Brothers in Arms.
See, I was thinking I was expected to like this album. I thought you really liked this album, and that's why you had me listen to it. Well, and I was listening to it, and I was like, this isn't that good. Like there's some good songs on there, but it's nothing exceptional.
The only thing is that it's just like with U2's The Joshua Tree, which we will review in the near future. The only songs that we know mostly about this album is just the first 3 songs, and that's it. And this album has about, let me look one more time, 9 songs. But like I said, in my opinion, it is an all-time masterpiece. This is probably Mark Knopfler's greatest work. He's the lead singer for Dire Straits. But it is seriously the most fucking overplayed stuff I have ever heard in my entire life. And I can't even be biased to it, mainly because my dad when he was alive, this was his favorite album, like one of his most favorite pieces of music. Every time we were going to Montana to visit my Ma's family during the summers, he would have this whole album be played from beginning to end.
I feel bad for you.
That's probably what killed me for it, especially with the song Money for Nothing, which we will get into soon, ladies and gentlemen. But either way, Brothers in Arms is celebrating their 40-year anniversary. Dire Straits has been promoting it so much and shit like that, and we're going to get into it. So what I wanted to do for our album reviews moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, is that I want to do a lot more in-depth look into these albums, not just do like talking about songs or, you know, just talking about songs like we had. I want to at least try and get into a bit of a backstory for like the recording process. Maybe talk about the artwork, because the artwork, it depends on how the album will play out, in my opinion. But to put it to you blatantly, folks, Dire Straits Brothers in Arms, while it is not exactly a concept album per se, it covers topics of war, militarism, and everything in between, more particularly the bonds that are being made between soldiers who are going to war together.
Okay.
So, but all right, so I have a Wikipedia up right now, and I'm gonna read off as much as I can, and I will include a link to this page in the description below so that all of you can check it out as well. Before we get into that, I want to read the article that's on Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest albums of all time. Dire Straits Brothers in Arms is at number 418 on that list. It was previously at 352.
I'm still flabbergasted as to the idea that that was actually on that list in the first place.
It was, and there will be a little bit more info that I will get into soon, but just bear with me quick. Okay, so this year was written by Brett Schewitz, Schewitz. He says, "It took me a long time to get Dire Straits. As a teen, I was given their greatest hits album. I loved Sultans of Swing, but wasn't all that impressed with the rest. As I grew up, I came to appreciate Mark Knopfler's songwriting, voice, and guitar playing. This, their fifth album, was their first to top the US charts, where it remained for 9 weeks. In the UK, it was the best-selling album of 1985, staying at number 1 for 3 months, and a staggering 34 weeks at number 1 in Australia. For all you major trivia nerds, this was the first CD to sell more than 1 million copies."
Damn.
So that's history right there. And this was when the CD format was coming. The hits are aplenty on this one. It can almost be mistaken for a great hits collection. So Far Away, Walk of Life, The Beautiful Brothers in Arms, and of course, Money for Nothing, featuring the one and only Sting. I've spoken to a lot of people that didn't know that Sting sang on this song, as well as co-writing it. That I did not even know at first, too.
I didn't know that at all. I didn't do much research into it. I just listened to all the songs.
And for those of you out there, Sting was the lead singer of the band The Police, who are also a UK hit. And he is like one of the most influential and most well-known voices in 80s music, and is still going strong today. The key giveaway is the end refrain of the song, I want my MTV. And remember, dude, I know you've watched the new Beavis and Butthead shows. Did you ever hear, like at the beginning, they will show the MTV thing? Do you hear MTV in the background? You know, like MTV?
I didn't really pay attention to that. I didn't really notice.
That was from the song. I would recommend you take a look at that again on when you watch the new Beavis and Butthead episodes. I still gotta watch that, by the way, so don't give me too much info about it.
All I'm gonna say is they're actually surprisingly really good.
It's Beavis and Butthead. It's Beavis and Butthead. What do you expect? But substitute that with don't stand so, don't stand so, don't stand so close to me, and you'll see what I mean. He is making a reference to the Police's song, Don't Stand So Close to Me, which was from their, I think it was their 1980 album, Zenyatta Mandata. Or, I'll have to take a look. I can't remember, but yeah, it was Zenyatta Mandata, yes. All right, so now that we read that article from Rolling Stone, here's what we will do. Recording process. Brothers in Arms was recorded from November of 1984 to February of 1985, and it was at AIR Studios on the island of Montserrat, a British overseas territory in the Caribbean. Now, AIR stands for Associated Independent Recording. It is an independent recording company founded in London in 1965 by record producers George Martin, John Burgess, Ron Richards, and Peter Sullivan, who are some of the most well-known music producers ever. This album was produced by Neil Dorfman and, of course, the Dire Straits' lead singer, Mark Knopfler. The label that it was released on was Vertigo and Warner Brothers. So, the album, like I said, was produced by both of them. Dorfman had engineered their last album, Love Over Gold, in 1982, which was the previous album they released before this album. And he also engineered Knopfler's 1983 soundtrack album, Loco Hero, which was the debut soundtrack album by him. Brothers in Arms was one of the first albums recorded on a Sony 24-track digital tape machine. The decision to move to digital recording came from Knopfler's constant striving for better sound quality. One of the things that I totally respected about him, Dorfman observed, was his interest in technology as a means of improving his music. He was always willing to spend on highly quality equipment. And remember, Dire Straits at this time, they were already becoming a huge band out there, so they were able to make enough money. So Knopfler decided, you know what, I'm going to put some money to this stuff. This is very interesting stuff. Before arriving on Montserrat, Knopfler had written all the songs and rehearsed them with the band. The studio lineup was Knopfler on vocals and guitar, John Ilsley on bass, Hal Lindus on guitar, Alan Clark on keyboards, Terry Williams on drums, and new member Guy Fletcher on keyboards and backing vocals. Let's see here. The studio itself was small, with a 20 by 25 foot recording space that offered virtually no isolation. Lots of stuff. So let's see here. But yeah, they did a really good job on this here. In the end, the album would actually do very well itself. It would end up getting nominated for 2 different categories at the Grammys in 1986. It lost, they were nominated for Album of the Year, but lost to Phil Collins's No Jacket Required. And, let me see here. It won Best Engineering Album. I can't even find where that's at. Oh, yeah. It was Neil Dorfman, who was the engineer, who won Best Engineered Recording. And, of course, it would end up going on to become one of the all-time greatest albums. It ended up winning Best British Album at the 1987 Brit Awards. And the 20th Anniversary Edition won another Grammy in 2006 for Best Surround Sound Album, so I'm surprised that even Anniversary Editions would win Grammys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But it's basically like one of those albums where it's like, it's considered like all among the all-time best albums, and it's, I believe it's included also in the book 1001 albums you have to listen to before you die. That kind of thing.
See, in my opinion, it's not an album I want to listen to before I die, but an album I listen to that makes me want to die.
We're not even making suicide jokes, dude. Come on.
Sorry.
So the artwork is obviously pretty iconic. It's like an art piece of artwork that sticks in my head. The guitar featured on the front of the album cover is Mark Knopfler's 1937 14 fret National Style O Resonator. This is a
It does
guitar
look like a damn nice guitar.
that those are the type of guitars that they use mainly for bluegrass music. And this is obviously a guitar that I really want to buy right here, just as like for keepsake, like with my guitars that I have here currently. The Style O line of guitars was introduced in 1930, but was discontinued in 1941. The photographer who took this was Deborah Feingold. The back cover features a painting of the same guitar, like it's the same guitar, but it's all painted. And it was done by German artist Thomas Steyer. A similar image was also used with a similar color scheme for the 1989 album The Booze Brothers by Brewer's Droop, which featured Knopfler on a few tracks. Okay, so now that we've gotten pretty much the majority of that out of the way, let's get into the music.
Oh boy.
All right, so track number 1 opens with So Far Away. Now, in my opinion, this is probably one of the most, in my
Repetitive?
No, in my retrospect, it's probably one of the most easy listening songs to open an album with.
In my opinion, this is one of the most repetitive songs I've ever heard. Just like every other phrase is fucking so far away, you know?
Yeah. Do you have the genius.com stuff up?
I can pull it up quick.
Pull it up quick. Cuz we're going to need this stuff so that we can give people meanings of this. But for me, in my opinion, for like my interpretation for this song is like it's almost like you're far away. You live like far away from like your loved ones, like family members, friends, even like girlfriends, wives, fiancés, you name it, and you're just longing to go back to them kind of thing. I think for this here, it's like supposed to be about a soldier who is off at war or something like that. And
And he's so far away from his lover.
yes.
Yeah,
Now,
that's exactly what it is about. It's about him being so far away from his lover and missing them.
yeah.
It's literally just all you can say about the song.
Yeah. Now, obviously, like I said, this album right here is basically like about war, militarism, and that kind of stuff, and the bonds that are made between soldiers. Now, the most interesting about this is that this album Mark Knopfler started writing when when the Falkland Wars were happening. Did you know that? He just
That this is recorded while the wars were happening.
Yeah, the Falkland Wars in particular. I'm just taking a look
I
quick.
did not know that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a look quick. So it was basically a 10-week undeclared war between Argentina and the British in 1982 over 2 British dependent territories in the South Atlantic and the Falkland Islands. And there was a whole lot of protests. There was so much protest in Great Britain because everyone saw that Margaret Thatcher, who was the prime minister at the time, who was known as the Iron Lady, there were so many people that hated on her so much. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album was heavily criticized. This war was heavily criticized. So, but yeah, this song right here, man, like I said, it's just about being far away from everyone, because either you're living somewhere, you're away at war, you're away at college, you name it.
All right. Anything else to say about that song?
Not really for me, do you?
No, there's not much to say about the song because every other stanza is just like you're so far away, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like it's almost like you know when you're watching a DVD and you hit A, B, repeat.
Yep.
That's it.
So
Now we get to number 2. Probably the most fucking overplayed, overrated, annoying song that I heard in my life. Money for Nothing.
I thought it was decent. It's a bit catchy. It's decent. That's the best I can say about it.
Like I said, dude, this song, I don't know what it is. This song is just so beyond fucking annoying, dude. Even, have you ever watched the music video for this?
I didn't even know there was a music video for it.
It got so much playing time on MTV. And it was mainly because of Sting continuously saying, I want my MTV. Now, basically, the music video, it's like CGI stuff or animation. It's like two workers who are, it's almost like, you know, when Beavis and Butthead are critiquing music videos, right? Instead, it's like two co-workers who work somewhere who are like, oh, we gotta buy this, we gotta buy that, we gotta install this, we gotta install that. And it's, I think this song pretty much is about consumerism.
Do you want to hear what Genius has to say about it?
What's that? Give it to us.
All right. This is Knopfler's description of the composition process in a 1985 interview with Bill Flanagan. The lead character in Money for Nothing is a guy who works in the hardware department in a television slash custom kitchen, refrigerator, microwave appliance store. He's singing the song. I wrote the song when I was actually in the store. I borrowed a bit of paper and started to write the song down in the store. I wanted to use a lot of the language that the real guy actually used when I heard him because it was more real. It just went better with the song. It was more muscular. I actually used little uh gay slur F word, but there are a couple of good motherfuckers in there. I wanted to do a second version that way, but I never had time. I'd still love to be able to do it, even if I just had the band, even if just the band had it, because it would be the real version. I mean, that was the way people speak. I think people still get the general idea. You can use still, sorry, you can use other words that still suggest the general feel.
Yeah.
And it goes on, but as generally what he had to say about it.
Yeah. The song's music video features like really early computer animation. So, you know, like computers were just being built at this time and they were figuring out like computer animations and all that. So this was like among the earliest stuff here. But yeah, they ended up it was like that was the second verse where you were talking about like that one gay slur and whatnot. They got so much backlash for it that when they ended up re-releasing it on their greatest hits compilation, they had to cut that part out.
Damn.
Like, well, what do you expect, dude? What do you expect when you're using a slur like that? But remember, this is 1985. They didn't fully think about it. It was like during the airplane era, or at least a bit after the airplane era.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a yeah, like you were saying, yeah, it describes it like that, like the guy who works in a hardware department store in a television custom appliance store kind of thing, and yeah. But like I said, dude, like this song, dude, like the overplaying of it just fucking killed it for me, bro. It just fucking killed it for me. They Dire Straits, they performed at the 1985 Live Aid concert, and they of course did play that song. They did perform that song, and they actually did have Sting on stage with them.
Nice.
Yep.
No,
And
honestly, listening to this album for you was the first time I've ever heard that song.
yeah, it's a constant play on classic rock radio. Yeah,
Okay.
it's considered like it's like I said, it's not for me per se, dude, but it is considered Dire Straits' greatest song.
No, hell no.
What do you think
If
is?
if that's their best song, they must not be a good band. I've never listened to much Dire Straits, I'll be honest, but
Oh,
if
well,
that's their
you're
best song, I don't know what to say, dude.
well, that's at least what I that's my opinion anyways, dude, but if you really want a really great song you want to listen to from Dire Straits, look up Calling Elvis.
Okay.
That is without a doubt my most favorite fucking Dire Straits song. That's from their follow-up album called On Every Street from 1991. I'll have to have you give it a listen when we get done here. So, or at least we'll do it right after we do our next thing.
Yep.
So, alrighty. So, next up we got the song Walk of Life. And obviously, it's another overplayed song. And dude, when we're working, dude, if you listen to the PA speakers, they even play that song on the PA speakers at our
That
workplace.
that must have been where I've heard this song from before, because I listened to this song when I was listening to the album, and I was like, I swear I've heard this fucking song before.
Yeah. Now they've this song was included on the one of my favorite sports movies or comedy sports movies, The Benchwarmers, and
Yeah.
I've watched the music video for this, and I think the music video might be the funniest shit I ever saw in my life. It's basically just yeah. So the music video it describes this. Two music videos were produced for Walk of Life. One shows the band playing the song in concert, while the character Johnny is playing 1950 songs in the Tyne Cyclist and Pedestrian Tunnel. The other features the band playing interspersed with clips of sports bloopers.
hmm
That sports bloopers one was the official music video that came out. Now, obviously, I couldn't really find much for this one, honestly. The only thing that I could see is that the singer mentioned in the lyrics that Johnny is set to perform down the tunnels trying to make it pay. It's basically a name of a character named Johnny. He plays oldies and all that.
Yeah, what Genius says, excuse me.
Well, that's quite a bit of information. So it turns out Genius says it's actually about
The track is about a busker playing tracks desired by the passersby and focuses on his dedication to a craft that earns him enough to live, but not enough to really live. That's what it says on Genius.
huh. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, man. I'll say that much. Um yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really got. Anything else you want to say about this?
I mean, it's catchy. It's kind of a catchy song, but it's nothing too impressive, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, dude. It's another one. It's just another annoying ass song for me, man. That's just me anyways. So, the next song that we are going to talk about right before we take a quick short break is simply titled Your Latest Trick. And ladies and gentlemen, when I was looking this stuff up here, this song is supposed to be the quote unquote turning point of the album, according to what I saw.
I mean, it's
Now,
got a
it
nice
has
bluesy like trumpet and saxophone solo in
yes,
it.
it was pretty catchy, but I just couldn't really get into it honestly with it. I don't know what it was, man. Like the jazzier sound, it almost fitted perfectly with like how the album has been sounding overall so far anyway. Is there anything on Genius about this album or about this song or what the meaning of it is?
Uh, uh, All it says is the fourth track on Brothers in Arms and a turning point for the album. The songs up to this point are poppy, and this song ushers in a much more gritty phase of the album.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. That's the all I've written down for it was that it just had a very jazzy like sound kind of thing, but
I'd say it was more bluesy than jazzy to me.
here's the thing, I'm looking at the genre. The genre is jazz rock and soft rock.
Okay.
So it kind of makes sense, especially when you're hearing the trumpet at the beginning and all that.
Yeah.
All right. So, you have anything else you want to say about this song?
It was all right, I guess.
It sounded pretty nice, but I just can't get into it. So,
I liked the soloing, but honestly, that's all I had to show for it was the soloing was decent.
yeah.
Decent at best, because what I listen to, there's a lot better soloing than just that.
Yes, exactly. Alrighty. So, the next song that we have up here is called Why Worry? And it sounded so incredibly quiet. Like it's almost as quiet as can be. The music is quiet. Mark Knopfler's vocals is quiet. This was a song that appeared on an episode of the show Miami Vice, and the episode was where the buses done Dove Run or whatever it is.
What I wrote down was that this song was very long and mellow.
Yeah,
It's
it's
it's very long and it's very uneventful. Nothing interesting happens in it.
yeah. The lyrics are supposed to be like about assuring oneself that even with how much is going on in the world, there's nothing to worry about. Not worry so much about what's going on, kind of thing. That's at least what I saw in the lyrics when I was
Yeah.
reading them, when I was reviewing this album to write notes down.
And honestly, it's just like this song in particular, because like I'm a prog rock guy. Prog rock,
Yes.
prog metal, either of those. They can make some really long ass songs, and I like those long ass songs. This one is a long ass song, and it just doesn't vibe with me, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, man. I just couldn't get into it either. This song was about 8.5 minutes, dude, and around the 6 minute mark when I was listening to this song, dude, I nearly fucking fell asleep while I was taking notes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding, bro. I'm not kidding. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick short break before we continue on. And we will see you soon. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Booyah. Welcome back to a show that's dedicated to shitting on Dire Straits. Hey, I'll cheers to that. And I know I'm going to get a lot of
Let me
hate for
take a
this.
couple rips off here and I'll cheers you.
Yeah, sounds good. In the meantime, I know there's going to be a whole lot of you who are going to shit on me for shitting on this album, but guess what, people? I don't give a fuck because the dislike button is no more on YouTube, so I could give a shit less.
Cheers, brother.
Yep, cheers. Now that looks like an interesting type of voodoo there. What type is that?
Usually I drink the Imperial IPAs, but
Yeah.
sometimes I like to drink their fruit forces.
Oh, you're feeling a bit
Doesn't even
fancy
taste
today,
like
huh?
It doesn't even taste like beer. It just tastes like straight up fruit punch.
Yeah, well, you know me, when it comes to my liquor, dude, I have to keep away from sweet ass tasting stuff because I overindulge, and next thing you know, I make a fucking mess in my bathroom like I did twice. this month. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue on with this. Last time we checked, we did the first 5 songs. Now we are going to get to number 6, which is Ride Across the River, which I really did like this song. I did like it.
I thought it was kind of long and boring.
But dude, they actually brought in like, I think it was like some Latin jazz band or whatever to help with like the instruments and whatnot, but it sounded nice. But the funny thing is that at the beginning, dude, there was like a certain instrument that I heard that almost sounds like, like, have you ever listened to Native American music?
Yes, I have.
That's what what I kept feeling I was hearing at the beginning. So basically,
yeah, Genius. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, man. No, you go ahead.
Okay, Genius says Right Across the River is the 6th track of Dire Straits' 5th studio album, Brothers in Arms. The song can be interpreted as a cynical view on war as seen from a soldier, not really knowing what or who he is fighting for, seeming war as not being glorious, but a killing game.
Dude, can you imagine? Have you ever watched the Oliver Stone movie Platoon?
I know of that movie pretty well. I just haven't seen it yet. I don't watch a lot of war movies, but I have nothing against them. Every one I've watched so far, I did like.
Could you,
especially Full Metal Jacket? Love Full Metal Jacket.
What about Apocalypse Now? That was another great movie.
Oh, that's another good one. I do like Apocalypse Now as well.
Yeah, that's my most favorite Vietnam War movie. But yeah, honestly, dude, like, could you imagine if I don't know if they did a movie soundtrack to it, but could you imagine if they ended up putting this song in that movie?
In Apocalypse Now?
No, it wouldn't have worked out because Apocalypse Now came out in 1979. This album's 1985. But imagine if they put it in Platoon, which came out a year later.
It's not gonna beat fucking The Doors, The End in fucking Apocalypse Now, though.
Oh yeah, there's no denying that, dude. And even then, dude, we are gonna definitely do a review of that album, dude, because I love The End, especially can't remember.
Yeah, the Doors debut album, excuse me, was definitely their best.
I think it's among I think the top 100 on Rolling Stone's list, but I would have to take a look back on it. So
unlike this album, it does really deserve that.
Oh yeah, no question about it. There's no doubt about it. Especially when you had the poetic work of Jim fucking Morrison. That's what I said.
I don't know, I was just saying it with you.
Oh, I thought you were correcting me. Like, what? How did I say it wrong? But yeah, Ride Across the River. It's this is a song I probably might have to consider adding to my personal playlist now because I really did like it. I liked how it sounded. You know, it's basically like it explores the themes of like militarism, and it's supposed to be like, I think if you're going up like a river or something to do like a sneak attack on your enemies and that kind of thing, it's how my interpretation is. Just imagine if you take how when Washington led his brigade up that river to make an attack on the British during the American Revolution, and you splice this song right in the background. Feel free to make one of those memes where it's like, this is George Washington leading the troops now. Feel old yet? All right, so, huh?
Oh, and then the next one is The Man's Too Strong, right?
Yep, and this here, it's another overplayed song, mainly because of my dad, not because of the airwaves. I don't think I ever even heard anyone play this on the radio, but my dad overplayed it too fucking much to where I just cannot stand it.
See, I thought it was a pretty decent song. It's probably not something I'll listen to on my own, but I thought it was decent.
It has a Western style to it. Doesn't it feel Western like you're in the old West or something like that?
I can see that, yeah.
Basically, according to what I wrote down, it's supposed to be a story about a soldier who is afraid to show his true colors.
Yeah. on Genius, it says The Man's Too Strong depicts the character of an ancient soldier or war criminal and his fear of showing feelings as a weakness.
Which in layman's terms would be me, I don't want to commit anything violent, but I have a tendency to be violent. Is how I would say it anyway.
Yeah. Anything else to say about that one?
So fucking annoying. And I guarantee you, dude, like my dad, he's been gone for about 10 years, dude, and I guarantee you he's looking down on me right now and
Yeah, I
he's
was
just
gonna say
laughing at me. I guarantee you he's
he's
laughing at
looking
me.
down at you right now. He's like, "What
And
the
I
fuck, dude?"
Yeah, and I guarantee you I'm probably gonna end up getting like he's probably gonna end up cursing something in here. I just know it. It's just like how a while back, a long time ago, when we were saying a funny story about my grandma, and somehow my mom's car automatically shut it off. You know. Uh. Alrighty. So the next one is One World,
One World.
and after 4 songs, an upbeat tune just came back, but it's only for this song because of how upbeat it sounded more than the previous 4 songs that we've listened to.
Honestly, I thought it was a decent song. It's one like the last one. It's a decent song, but it's not something I'm gonna be like, oh, I want to go listen to One World. No, there's so many other songs I'd rather listen to, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, it's a decent song.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, man. I really did like the upbeatness to it. I could not find anything for the meaning of this song of what it's supposed to mean.
Doesn't say shit on Genius either.
Yeah, so yeah, we're fucking this episode up already. We're just going off of our own interpretations, people. We can't find jack shit on the internet, and the internet's supposed to fucking help us. uh, fuck, I need a drink because this next one is actually a. This is probably. Now we get to track number 9, which in my retrospect is probably one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life. Now, I had a friend who was around my dad's age, who graduated high school with my dad, who served in the US Marines, and he was so loyal to a fault. He was such a huge patriot. Like he just bled patriotic colors, man. And I know
He
what you're
bled
gonna
right,
say.
red, white, and
And
blue.
I know what you're gonna say, man. And just don't go there right now, all right? But I had this song played at his funeral.
Yeah, it says here the song is about the brotherly bonds forged by the destructive fire and pains of war, the bond between soldiers on both sides of the trenches. It focuses on the Falklands War, which was going on when Dire Straits lead singer Mike Knopfler wrote the
Mark
song in
Knopfler.
19.
It was
Oh,
Mark
you
Knopfler.
actually pronounced the K?
Yes.
My bad. Mike Knopfler
No,
wrote
it's
the
not
song
Mike,
in.
it's Mark.
Shit, my bad. I've had a few to drink.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Right, Mark Knopfler wrote the song in 1982. The Falklands War was a conflict between Argentina and the United Kingdom over islands off the coast of Argentina that each country claims a right to. A new version of the song was released in '07 by Knopfler in order to raise money to bring veterans of the war back to the Falklands as a way to treat their PTSD.
Yes. And, dude, have you ever watched the movie The Deer Hunter?
I have not. I've heard
It's
of
a,
it though,
it's a Robert De
especially since
Niro
the
film.
title of the name is the same as my favorite band, The Deer Hunter.
Yeah. Well, this is another Vietnam War movie right here, dude. And it, you would have to take a look for yourself, man.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, this is probably one of the most beautiful songs, and I guarantee you, man, after going through 8 fucking miserable tracks, dude, we finally get to a light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, this is supposed to be an anti-war song, which I can really get behind because I am as anti-war as you can get.
I like war. I'm just fucking with you. Fuck war. Americans just like bombing brown people.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really good song right here, man. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, I
Yeah,
first
it
time
was a
I
good song.
this is probably a song that I actually did start crying to, if you can believe it or not. I think I was oh yeah. So I'm just reading up on this here, and in 2007, which would have been the 25th anniversary since the Falkland Wars happened, Mark Knopfler recorded a new version of the song at Abbey Road Studios to raise funds for British veterans who he said are still suffering from the effects of that conflict.
Nice. That's
And
good. That's a good thing.
yep, and believe it or not, Brothers in Arms, the song in particular, has become a quote unquote favorite at military style funerals. And I even kept telling the I'm trying to think, our American Legion, like our auxiliary post in Hill City, that hey, if you guys want to do like a military funeral, play this song right here. Like, it is such a great, amazing song, man. And if you read the lyrics, man, they are so deep, man. Like, they literally cut you to the core. Even though you and I have never served in military or anything like that, dude. And I wanted to, like, join the military or whatnot. Like, I wanted to get into the Navy in particular. But because of my mental disabilities, I was deemed unfit to serve. And my nephew, Trey, he's about 13, 14 years old, man. He says that if he doesn't go off to college, he is thinking of joining the military. Well, I had to sit down and talk with him, and I said, if you are seriously considering the military, join either the Air Force or the Navy. They will at least teach you something. Whereas with the Army and the Marine Corps, they'll just put a gun in your hand and said, all right, go shoot them.
The only thing I'd ever want to join the military for is to be in like the Army choir or something about like that. I
Oh yeah,
think that would be fun.
or even be part of like the USO shows.
I'm not familiar with that. What is the USO shows?
The USO is supposed to be like it's like doing musical performances. Let me
Okay.
let me look it up for you quick. I'm gonna take a look at that. But it's basically something that's like it was something that it's like entertainment. It's entertaining stuff. It's called United Service Organizations. And my fucking okay, my webcam's doing better. I was fucking glitching out. But yeah, it's basically just do it for entertainment purposes kind of thing. You know, like stand-up comedy, music,
Okay.
and all that stuff.
I could get down with that. That might be fun.
Yeah, Glenn Miller, who was one of the big band jazz frontmen, dude, he was part of the USO in World War II.
Nice.
The only reason I knew what the USO even was because I was watching the show MASH. I don't care what anyone says, greatest TV show on the planet. I don't care what anyone says. Fucking prove me wrong on that, people. Fucking prove me wrong.
I don't know. I still like the X-Files more, and there's no talking me out of that fucking hole either.
Like I said, dude, I get you in a room in my mind. You're gonna talk for God knows how many hours talking about that. So, alrighty. So, you have anything else you want to say about the album before we sign off?
It was decent at best. That's all I can say. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't incredible. It was like very catchy, and a lot of people like catchy, repetitive bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention this. The Brothers in Arms music video actually won a Grammy Award for Best Music Video in 1987.
I wouldn't know if that's true. Well,
That's what
that's
I.
true, but I wouldn't know if I agree with that or not because I didn't watch the music video for that song.
Well, that's just what I'm reading off of, man.
Yeah.
I'm just reading it off of this shit, so don't quote me on it. You'll have to take a look for yourself.
No, you're probably right there. I just don't know if it necessarily deserved that just because I haven't seen the music video itself.
Well, like I said, dude, if you would do more fucking research like I did, then you would know for sure, you prick. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Alman, what can I say about Brothers in Arms, dude? Dude, great album cover. Music fucking sucks. So I like a couple of them. That's it. And I'm sure if you guys have anything to say about my criticisms of it, leave a comment below and I'll respond to you guys as PG as I can. You fucking cunts. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this podcast as much as I enjoyed taking a big shit on Brothers in Arms. If you want to see more music-related content from me in the future, subscribe to the Roger Radio Show today. If you have any recommendations or suggestions for what you think we should talk about here on this podcast, leave a comment below. And I will take your suggestion into consideration. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Intermission group channel today because we release a lot of good content there as well.
Yep.
Do you have any promotional stuff you want to say about it?
Subscribe to the Intermission group channel. Particularly watch the mustard roulette, ketchup roulette. Soon we'll have another one in that series. Watch the fucking Beer and Wings episode that we uploaded. That one's also really good. Roger's doing a great job editing those for us. So give a shout out to him, you know.
What can I say, dude? 2 years of graphic design school really paid off for me, man.
Yeah.
But
and we also have a video called Spicy Stuff with Aegis and Roger. That was also a good video. So watch all those and subscribe.
Yep, that spicy stuff video is going to be part of our series that we're going to be doing on there. It's going to be simply titled For Idiots Only. It's basically our own PG version of Jackass. So, can't wait to see what other bullshit that we do there, you know. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Well, if we get a blender, just buy a blender. I have a great idea of a video we can do.
All right, man. You tell me off camera. But, ladies and gentlemen, aside from that, be sure to stay tuned because sometime in the near future, I don't know how far along it'll be, there will be a particular special episode that we are going to do right here on this channel. I am not ready to reveal what it is. It's going to involve a couple friends of mine who I've been talking to over the last few months about a very special premiere that we're going to do for something. Be sure to stay tuned for what that will be in the future for when we will officially do it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, until next time, ta-ta for now.
Peace.